Welcome to Destination Dive. I'm Kerry Sanders. In this episode, we're exploring the waters off Marathon, America's turquoise paradise. Remember these names: Sombrero,
Lots of life on there. Very common to see things like nurse sharks, Caribbean reef sharks.
Thunderbolt,
It's in a really good location. There's not a lot of stuff around it.
Adelaide Baker.
And they get that opportunity for life to grow.
From there, we'll join an undersea war against an invader.
And you thought at the time, wow, that's really pretty, right?
Yeah.
And then meet a snorkeler who takes pictures in her head
The most personal is the most creative.
and with her paintbrush turns them into art. Ready, divers? Okay, let's jump in. Beneath the surface of the Florida Keys lies a vibrant, shallow water world waiting to be explored. Who better to guide us than someone who is on the reefs here almost every day?
And so for the diver, this is like a perfect spot.
Dive operator Max Ebel with Captain Hooks.
It's worth the drive coming down because, one, it's a spectacular drive going over the 7-mile bridge and getting to see the reef. You can see the reef from the bridge, right? You can see the ocean line out there. It's a spectacular view.
Our journey begins at Sambos Reef, a diverse ecosystem south-southwest of Big Pine Key. The reef here is divided into 3 distinct sections: Eastern, Middle, and Western Sambos.
Which is a really nice stretch of reef. It's an environmentally protected area, sanctuary preservation area.
Explain what that means.
So what that means is that it's protected, and there's certain things that you can't do, you aren't allowed to do. You're not allowed to fish, you're not allowed to drop anchor. So we have designated mooring sites out there that have been set up by the sanctuary guys that we can just tie off to in an effort to protect all that wonderful coral and environment.
Just southeast of Big Pine Key sits Sombrero Reef, an easily accessible, pristine, shallow haven.
Sombrero Lighthouse up here off of Marathon is fantastic. It's nice, it's shallow, ranges only about 20 feet kind of maximum depth, but it's known for just being spectacular. Lots of life on there, very common to see things like nurse sharks, Caribbean reef sharks down there. If you're gonna be snorkeling, you'll see more turtles than the divers do because you get this great big wide field of vision and they come up and they take a breath of air. So half the time we'll be on the boat yelling to people like, hey, there's a turtle behind you, and they'll turn around and it's right there.
Other notable easy dive locations include the Donut, just northeast of Big Pine Key. It's a large circular patch reef overflowing with marine life, and right next to it, the uniquely named Coffin's Patch. A major advantage to diving these Keys reefs is the depth.
The nice part about the reefs in the Florida Keys is they're fairly shallow, so you still get a lot of color put into those without needing to bring down necessarily an artificial light source like a torch or something else like that. You get those reds, those blues, the yellows off a lot of the fish. You get this nice long bottom time that goes with it. But when you're nice and shallow, it's like it feels like you've got all day there.
Through ongoing conservation efforts like establishing sanctuary preservation areas and utilizing mooring buoys, these natural wonders are thriving. For the divers who visit, these vibrant waters offer more than just a visual spectacle.
Right, I always tell everybody diving is my happy place. Underwater is my happy place. It's quiet, it's peaceful, it's serene, it's my meditation, it's my safe spot, right? And it's the only time in my life where I'm absolutely 100% in that moment, and I'm not anywhere else.
And isn't that why so many of us dive to begin with? Today we're exploring one of the most iconic wrecks in the Keys, the Thunderbolt. Resting in the waters just off Marathon, this shipwreck is more than just a dive site, it's a living reef with history as rich as the marine life that call it home. Originally built for the U.S. Army in 1942, its long life ended in 1961 when Florida Power and Light bought it to research lightning strikes, hence the name the Thunderbolt.
It was actually used to monitor lightning strikes out at sea. So I think it had something like 500 lightning strikes to it.
Florida Power and Light donated it to the Keys Artificial Reef Association, and it was then sunk in 1986, where it has rested on the ocean's sandy bottom ever since.
You can still see the old spool for the cables up at the front of the vessel. That's really cool. And that one, it's another wreck. It's perfectly upright. They sunk it intentionally. It landed exactly where it was supposed to go.
Submerged underwater for 40 years, this wreck has unbelievable amounts of coral and marine life, flourishing everywhere you look.
It's usually a good Goliath grouper hotspot as well. They're fairly common on that. And I'd say the Goliath groupers on that, every time I've been on there, probably 800, 900 pounds. I mean, they're massive Goliath groupers. And again, it's another easy dive. It's in a really good location. There's not a lot of stuff around it.
Another draw to the Thunderbolt is the relatively shallow nature of the dive. It allows divers more time to explore all the swim-throughs and nooks and crannies of the wreck.
It's pretty easy to get all the way around in one dive. We don't usually get much current on there. I have been out there when there's been a bit of it before, but it's not common on that. And every time I've done it, the visibility has been like 80 to 90 feet. It's been a great dive every single time that I've done it.
There's no doubt that wrecks in the Florida Keys are special, and the Thunderbolt is no different. Wrecks offer a unique form of diving that's rich in biodiversity and sprinkled with history and surprises.
Wrecks provide a lot of opportunities for a lot of different things, right? And each dive is different to each person. I love life. Life is my big thing. And I know that if I go to the wrecks in the Florida Keys, life is going to congregate on it, right? I mean, I've seen manta rays on our wrecks down here. People have seen whale sharks. Not necessarily things that you're going to see on the reef. They're too big or they're too scared to come in that close for X number of reasons. But wrecks are so many things to so many people.
Whether you dive wrecks for the history, for the mystery, or simply for the thrill of being underwater, the Thunderbolt is a must-see.
If you miss out on the Thunderbolt coming down to the Keys, you're cheating yourself. I would dive that every day if I could. If it was closer to where I live, I would dive that every single day.
Another wreck site near Marathon is the Adelaide Baker. This 153-foot ship sank in 1889 after the captain veered off course. The remnants are scattered along the ocean floor and are still there today, covered with marine life. While there's no physical vessel on the ocean floor, what's left of the ship provides a ghostly reminder of what happened when the ship wrecked more than a century ago. Whether you visit a wreck that was the result of unfortunate circumstances or a wreck that was intentionally sunk for the sake of our oceans, you can bet it will be thriving if it's in the Florida Keys.
Once we sink them there, what they do is they get a chance to develop the coral on them and the other life and the anemones and all those things, and they get that opportunity for life to grow. And then by having the coral growth there, that means the fish come in there to use it as protection. And when you get the little fish, that brings the bigger fish, which brings the sharks, which brings the predators. So you can literally go down on most of the wrecks in the Florida Keys and see one whole entire ecosystem at work from the bottom of the food chain to the top. And just, it's nice to have that.
At first, divers to the Keys were mesmerized, veteran divers intrigued. It was 1985, and a fish no one had ever seen on reefs off South Florida seemingly appeared overnight. The stunning lionfish is, as if sculpted from the very essence of a sunset, a canvas of fiery orange, deep burgundy, and creamy white. But it didn't take long for the curious to discover what scientists already knew. Those flamboyant fins were edged with venomous spines. And worse for the native fish here, these uninvited interlopers are voracious eaters. Studies on Caribbean reefs show lionfish have stripped 75 to 90% of the very food native fish thrive on.
They have preyed upon, from what we can tell, over 170 different species of our native fish. These are everything that's important for our fisheries, like our snappers and groupers when they're juveniles, to the tenders of the reef, such as like our parrotfish and like cleaner shrimp, to everything in between.
So they're the enemy.
Yeah, yeah.
Which brings us to where we are now. An army of volunteer divers at war with this invasive species. And some good news, the ongoing battle, including regular lionfish derbies, where divers compete to hunt, spear, and kill as many of these unwelcome intruders, is showing results.
Whenever I go out hunting, I don't see a ton, which I think goes to show that humans are their biggest predators.
It turns out lionfish are quite tasty.
You know, and they make a great dinner.
Some restaurants in the Florida Keys now feature them on their menus. Marine biologists say humans, like Patricia Malden, are their only predators.
And I remember actually the first time I ever saw a lionfish was down here in the Keys.
And you thought at the time, wow, that's really pretty, right?
Yeah.
And then when you found out?
Yeah, the guy went down and speared them. And I'm like, what are you doing? It's such a pretty fish. But then he explained to me what it was.
And now here you are out trying to get rid of them.
I've killed thousands of them.
Really?
Yeah.
Patricia proudly took a photo of her first. On our dive this day, the catch was 22. 15 years ago, she says there might have been 100 or more. Proof of that reduced population at 52 feet down, they're scarce. Most of the lionfish taken on this two-tank dive were spotted at 70 feet or deeper.
I can't conclude from what I saw today, which is a few lionfish.
Yeah.
I can't conclude, oh, victory, it's over, you guys have won.
No.
That's because reef.org, acting like the Pentagon in this war, and the chief organizer of lionfish derbies, has found in deep waters battalions of more lionfish.
A hectare is about the size of a football pitch or a soccer pitch. In those unchecked areas, like really deep, or just where divers can't get to be upwards of over 1,000.
1,000?
Yes. Beautiful.
Routinely, reef.org invites even novice divers to go on a hunt after first taking a class.
How did they get here in the first place?
Someone put them there.
Yeah, us humans. We, of course, are the cause of this.
Native to the Indo-Pacific, the accepted theory is someone emptied their home aquarium into the Atlantic, and the population exploded.
Yeah, you really have to look up under there and check and see where they're hanging out.
Longtime divers say they enjoy the challenge of the hunt and diving with a purpose.
A regular, just a pure recreational dive to us gets kind of dull, so we like to have a...
You like to have a dive which has purpose and meaning.
Yes.
And it did today.
Oh, yeah.
Cut it open.
Examining the catch is tricky.
I'm actually gonna trim that off for us.
You're super careful here because you don't want to get
Don't want to get stabbed.
Those spines, 18 of them, contain a venomous and very painful neurotoxin.
Have you ever been stabbed?
Once.
And?
Once is enough. It hurts. You don't want to get a second time.
The post-dive examination reveals this lionfish was pregnant.
So this is one of the buoyant egg masses. These contain 30 to 50,000 eggs.
50,000 eggs?
Yeah, a lot. And they can be released every 2 to 4 days.
Do the math and you realize this may be a never-ending battle to rid the waters of what could be 100,000 lionfish, maybe 1 million plus. Experts admit they're just guessing, but with that many eggs every few days, the battle is on, and there's hope divers could someday win the war. We'll be right back. It's estimated more than 4 million tourists visit Marathon and the Florida Keys every year. But then there are the lucky few, the folks who not only live here, but were born into this. We introduce you to one young woman who has taken her childhood experiences here in the Keys and now has a growing reputation because of how she explains what she sees here to everyone else.
Keys native Jewel Jankowski is lucky. She grew up with this. Each splash into the water adds to the foundation that is her life's passion. While so many take camera pictures down here, Jewel is taking mental photos. And then what she's observed is artfully recreated, stroke by stroke, on canvas. These are her interpretations of that ever-changing undersea world, which draws so many divers to the Keys in the first place.
So we are looking at the seafloor of a very popular diving destination. It's called Alligator Reef Lighthouse. This is a place that I grew up going. It is honestly like a religious icon for Keys people at this point.
How important is it to you that you're working with oils on canvas versus so many people who come down and take a photograph?
Yes. I think it's really important because one of my favorite art quotes is from Alberto Giacometti, and he says, art is not about really reproducing reality, but creating one of the same intensity. And it's like, my goal is to translate those experiences. It's not just to have, you know, photographic images. It's to translate how that feels to be underwater and to be around such like kind of beautiful and controlled chaos.
Because she grew up on Isla Mirada, her childhood was a 2-minute walk to the bay, a 5-minute walk to the ocean. Every day, she says, she absorbed the beauty of the coastline. At the University of Florida, she took classes in biology and the environment, but her focus was art.
Say, art? What do you want to do, starve?
Yes, that is a question I got all the time, and I always found it so insulting because, you know, you're at school, and even grown adults would say, how do your parents feel about the fact that you're an art major? Like, you know, they're already setting up for me to say, oh, they hate it. They think I'm not going to be successful. But my parents are so supportive of me, and they've always believed in me. Thank God for them, because I was a little sensitive kid who just liked to stay up late and draw. And if they told me that that wasn't, you know, the way to go, I think I would be doing something else and feel really lost.
Her studio today is in the same house where she grew up. It was only natural she'd follow this path. Her mother and her grandmother are also both artists.
So my childhood was just making stuff all the time. I loved making little figurines. I loved staying up late at night. I loved making miniatures. I had a real penchant for very small stuff. So it's kind of funny that I do large scale things now. But whenever I kind of need to go back to ground zero and kind of ground myself, I make something very small.
But I don't hear you saying, I remember going through a cell phone and scrolling and looking.
Never. I think that would have really, I'm really happy that I had time to really focus and also time to be bored. Because when you're bored, you get great ideas.
That's not something you hear often from someone in their 20s. She is, however, fully aware of how her generation gravitates to social media. And this mermaid was the turning point in her young career. She was asked to repaint the aging, iconic Lorelei mermaid. And the Instagram world noticed, which led to commission pieces like this one at the Three Waters Resort.
So this is the beautiful great white egret. It's become really like a symbol of my art practice. I think it's such a beautiful and elegant, sleek animal, and it's really become kind of my
Your
thing.
signature?
Yes, absolutely.
Since we're here, we just had to.
It is the perfect Instagram photo backdrop. I mean, any resort, that's how people market these days.
Underwater art from the Keys, a combination of Jewel's feelings, memories, and experiences.
I'm going to quote Martin Scorsese here, but the most personal is the most creative. And if I can translate my experience, and if someone goes with that, then I did my job.
Thank you for that treat, Jewel, and thank you for joining us. I'm Kerry Sanders with underwater cameraman and executive producer Mike Zimmer. Join us again for Destination Dive.